Hello, and welcome. If you are here, something in you is tired. Not just tired in the body, but tired in the place where you keep your hoping. Tired of asking. Tired of waiting by doors that never seem to move. Tired of falling asleep with a closed hand instead of an open one. Tonight, that changes. Not because I'm going to tell you a secret you didn't know, but because I'm going to remind you of something you knew before you were taught to doubt it. That the life you long for is not far away, chasing you across some distant future. It is close. It is closer than your next breath. And tonight, while your body rests, we are going to walk through it together. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to believe anything right away. You don't have to sit up, take notes, or try hard. In fact, trying hard is the opposite of what we're doing here. All I ask is that you let your eyes grow heavy whenever they want to. Let your breath slow whenever it's ready. And let your body sink into whatever is holding you right now. Your bed, your pillow, your favorite worn-in blanket. Because tonight, we are not going to visit your problems. We are not going to rehearse your fears. We are going to walk down a long, quiet hallway inside your own mind. A hallway lined with doors, and every single one of them is already open. Not opening, not about to open, already open. Let that sit with you for a moment. Every door you have knocked on, begged at, waited outside of, already open. The job, the love, the health, the peace, the home that feels like yours. All of it already open, already yours, waiting only for you to walk the hallway of sleep tonight as if you already know it. So take one long breath in through your nose and let it go slowly through your mouth. Let your shoulders drop half an inch. Let your jaw unclench. Let your hands go loose and open at your sides or resting on your chest, however they've landed. You are safe. You are warm. You are exactly where you need to be. And tonight, you are going to sleep as if every door has already opened for you. Maybe you came to this video after a long day, the kind where nothing went terribly wrong, but nothing went easily right either. The kind of day that just wears you down through sheer accumulation, one small friction after another, until you're lying here now, with a mind that won't quite stop replaying all of it. Or maybe today was harder than that. Maybe a door actually did close on you recently, a job that ended, a relationship that didn't survive, a plan that fell through, in a way that still stings when you think about it directly. If that's you tonight, I want you to know something before we go any further. Nothing about that closed door disqualifies you from what we're about to do. If anything, it makes you exactly the right person to be here. Closed doors are not proof that you're unworthy of open ones. They're simply doors that were never yours to walk through, dressed up, for a while, as though they were the only doors that existed. Tonight, we're not going to spend any more time standing in front of the ones that closed. We're going to walk, instead, toward the ones that are already open, quietly, patiently, waiting for you to simply notice them. You don't have to fully believe any of this yet for it to start working. Belief, real belief, is often the last thing to arrive, not the first. First comes willingness, then comes practice. Then, slowly, without your noticing exactly when it happened, comes belief. Quiet, sturdy, no longer needing to be defended because it's simply become how you see things now. Tonight, all I'm asking of you is the first one. Willingness, a loosening, a decision, even a small, half-convinced one, to let tonight be different from every other night you've spent quietly bracing for disappointment. Before we begin the walk, let me tell you how to listen, because how you listen tonight is different from how you listen during the day. During the day, you listen to understand, to analyze, to remember, so you can repeat it later. Tonight, I want you to listen the way a plant listens to rain, not analyzing it, not memorizing it, just letting it soak in, drop by drop, deeper than thought. If your mind wanders, that's all right. If you fall asleep in the next 5 minutes, that's more than all right. That's the whole point. Nothing that follows requires your waking attention to work on you. Your sleeping mind is not a lesser student. It is, in many ways, the better one. Undistracted, unguarded, unable to argue back. So release the pressure to get anything from this tonight. You cannot fail at resting. You cannot fail at listening while you drift. There is no task here except to soften. One more thing before we walk. Whenever I say the word door tonight, I want you to picture, without forcing it, any door at all. A door from your childhood home, a door in a house you've never seen, a plain door, a grand door. It does not matter. Just let a door appear, loosely, the way an image appears, right before sleep. That's the only picture you need to hold. Everything else, I will carry for you. Now, let's begin to settle the body so that the mind can follow. There is an old idea, passed quietly between teachers and dreamers for a very long time, that goes something like this. The world you experience is not first built out there and then noticed by you in here. It is first built in here, in feeling, in inner conversation, in the quiet assumptions you carry about who you are and what you're allowed to have. And only afterward does it seem to appear out there, as if it had nothing to do with you at all. Most of us live backwards. We wait for the door to open before we let ourselves feel relieved. We wait for the raise before we feel abundant. We wait for the love letter before we feel loved. We wait for the diagnosis to clear before we feel well. We make our inner world a hostage of our outer circumstances, and then we wonder why the outer circumstances never seem to change, because nothing new is being asked of them. We keep sending them the same tired signal, day after day. Not yet, not yet, not yet. The teaching, the old idea, flips this around entirely. It says, feel it first. Assume the feeling of the thing already being true, and carry that feeling, not as a performance, not as a trick, but as a quiet, private knowing, and let the outer world rearrange itself around that knowing, the way iron filings rearrange themselves around a magnet they cannot see. This is not about pretending. Pretending is loud and effortful, and always checking the mirror to see if anyone's convinced. What we're describing is quieter than that. It's closer to remembering, as if some part of you already lives in the version of your life where the door opened, and all you have to do is stop insisting so hard on the version where it didn't. Sleep is the doorway into that quieter place, because in the hour before sleep, and in sleep itself, the mind stops arguing with you. The part of you that spends all day collecting evidence for why things won't work out finally, mercifully, clocks out, and in that unguarded space, whatever you feel to be true gets planted the deepest. That is why we do this work at night, not because daytime affirmations don't matter, they do, but because nighttime is when the soil is softest. Whatever seed you plant in the mind just before sleep tends to root the fastest, precisely because nothing is standing guard at the gate, arms crossed, asking for proof. Let me say a little more about feeling, because it's the part of this teaching most people skip past too quickly, and it's actually the entire mechanism. When we say, feel it is already true. We don't mean forcing a smile you don't mean, or repeating a sentence through gritted teeth, while your whole body silently disagrees with it. That kind of forced positivity rarely convinces anyone, least of all the deeper parts of your own mind, which are remarkably good at detecting when you're performing, rather than actually feeling. What we mean by feeling is something quieter and more physical than that. It's the specific loosening in your chest when a worry finally lifts. It's the specific ease in your shoulders when you stop expecting bad news. It's the way your whole body changes, subtly but completely, in the half second after someone tells you good news you'd been afraid to hope for. Before your mind has even caught up with words, your body already knows something has shifted. That bodily shift, that specific quality of relief and ease, is the actual signal your inner world sends outward. Not the words you say, not the vision board, not the repetition of a phrase you don't yet believe. The feeling underneath all of it, the texture of already having it, already being it, already standing on the other side of the door, instead of pressed up anxiously against the outside of it. This is why sleep matters so much for this particular kind of inner work. During the day, it's almost impossible to fully drop into that feeling because your analytical mind keeps interrupting, checking, comparing the feeling against the current evidence, finding the feeling unrealistic, and talking you out of it before it has time to properly land. But right here, right now, in this soft, unguarded hour before sleep, that analytical mind finally, mercifully, loosens its grip. And in that loosened state, the feeling doesn't have to argue its way past anything. It simply gets to be felt, fully, the way a warm bath doesn't need your permission to feel warm. It simply does, the moment you stop resisting it and let yourself sink in. So as we walk through the hallway tonight, don't worry about believing the words with your thinking mind. Worry, instead, about feeling them with your body, the loosening, the ease, the specific relief of already having walked through, rather than the tense effort of still trying to get there. So tonight, we are going to plant one seed, over and over, in as many forms as it takes to reach you. Every door has already opened. Not will open. Not is opening. Slowly, if I'm patient and good and lucky. Already opened. Finished. Behind you. Not ahead of you. I want you to notice something about how doors work in real life. Because it matters. A door that is open does not require you to force your way through it. You don't kick down an open door. You don't beg an open door. You simply walk, calmly, like it was always going to happen this way, like there was never really any other option. That is the feeling we are cultivating tonight, not the tight, straining feeling of trying to manifest something, but the loose, unremarkable feeling of walking through a door that was always going to be open for you, because it already is. You do not have to understand exactly how this works to let it work on you. You do not need a theory of the universe. You only need to be willing, tonight, to fall asleep a slightly different person than the one who woke up this morning. A person for whom the doors are open, simply because that person has decided, quietly, without announcement, that this is now true. Let's walk that hallway now. But first, let me tell you a small story, because stories settle into the sleeping mind even more easily than instructions do. Once, in no particular time and no particular place, two travelers arrived at the same long hallway, lined with the same doors. The first traveler walked up to the first door and found it closed, so she knocked. No answer. She knocked again, harder. Still nothing. She pressed her ear to the wood, listening for footsteps on the other side, for some sign that her knocking had been heard. Hours passed this way, then days. She grew tired and a little bitter, and she began to tell herself a story about that door, that it was not for her, that other people's doors opened easily but hers never would, that she must be doing something wrong, or worse, that she must not deserve what was on the other side. Eventually, exhausted, she sat down in front of the door and simply waited, because waiting, at least, required no more knuckles bruised against wood that never moved. The second traveler arrived at the very same hallway, the very same door, but he had been told something different before he came. He had been told, "The door is already open. It was built to let you through, not to keep you out." So he did not knock. He simply reached for the handle, the way you reach for a door in your own home, without hesitation, without asking permission of the wood. And the door opened, because it always had been open. The only difference between the two travelers was not the door. It was never the door. It was what each of them believed about it before they ever touched the handle. The first traveler had knocked for so long that she had forgotten to simply try the handle. She had assumed a locked door, and so she treated it like one. And so, for her, it functioned like one. Not because it truly was, but because her whole approach was built around a door that couldn't open, and a door built around cannot easily do anything else. This is not a story about luck. It's a story about approach. Two people, the same door, two entirely different experiences of it. One of struggle, one of ease. And the only variable was the assumption each of them carried in without realizing they were carrying it at all. Tonight, I am asking you to be the second traveler. Not to knock. Not to wait outside, pressing your ear to the wood, listening for permission. Simply to reach for the handle, the way you'd reach for a door in your own home, because after tonight, in the only way that matters, it is. Let me tell you two more small stories, because the sleeping mind likes company, and one story is rarely enough to fully loosen an old belief. There was once a woman who was given, at the start of every year, a suitcase. Inside it, though she never opened it to check, was everything she needed for the year ahead. The money, the opportunities, the encounters, the small strokes of luck, all of it packed and ready, waiting only to be unpacked as the months went by. But she had been taught long ago, by people who meant well but knew no better, that the suitcase was probably empty, or worse, that it belonged to someone else and had been given to her by mistake, and that if she opened it and started using what was inside, someone would eventually come to take it back, and she'd be left worse off than if she'd never touched it at all. So she carried the suitcase everywhere, unopened. She held onto its handle so tightly that her hand cramped. She never fully set it down, not even to sleep, because some small part of her worried that if she let go for even a moment, it would be gone. Meanwhile, everything inside it, every opportunity, every stroke of ease, every door that was meant to open for her that year, simply sat there, folded, unused, going a little stale with disuse, the way anything does when it's kept too long in the dark. One night, exhausted from carrying something she'd never even looked inside of, she finally set it down. Not because she'd suddenly become braver, simply because her arm ached too much to keep holding on. And in setting it down, for the first time, she noticed the latch wasn't even locked. It never had been. She had spent an entire year gripping the handle of something that was never sealed shut in the first place. The fear of losing it was the only lock that had ever existed, and it existed nowhere except in her own tired hand. Tonight, wherever you are holding your own suitcase, the one you've been told might be empty, or might belong to someone else, or might be taken back the moment you relax your grip, I want you to notice something. Your hand is tired. You are allowed to set it down. The latch was never locked. It only felt that way because you were the one holding it too tightly to check. There was a gardener who planted a single seed, and then, the very next morning, dug it back up to see how it was doing. Finding nothing but a small, unremarkable seed, slightly swollen with water, but showing no visible progress, she frowned, buried it again, and told herself she'd give it one more day. The next morning, she dug it up again. Still nothing to see. She buried it once more, a little less patient this time, a little more convinced that maybe this particular seed simply wasn't going to grow, that maybe she'd done something wrong, that maybe other gardens grew easily while hers, for some reason, did not. This went on for weeks. Every morning, up came the seed. Every morning, down it went again, a little more damaged by the handling, a little further from the undisturbed darkness it actually needed to do its quiet, invisible work. One day, tired of digging, she simply left it alone. Not because she suddenly trusted the process. She still doubted it, still worried, still caught herself wanting to check. But because her hands too were tired, the way hands get tired from doing something over and over that was never actually helping. Weeks passed. She almost forgot about the seed entirely, which is, it turns out, exactly what a seed needs from a gardener. Not obsessive checking, not daily proof, just consistent, undisturbed conditions, and enough trust to leave well enough alone. And then, on an ordinary morning, without any fanfare, without any warning, a small green shoot broke through the soil. It had been growing the entire time. Every single day she hadn't checked, it had been quietly, invisibly, doing exactly what it was built to do. The lesson isn't complicated, though it is, admittedly, hard to live by. What you plant and then leave alone tends to grow better than what you plant and then anxiously dig up to inspect. Every affirmation you've heard tonight, every door you've walked through, every feeling you've allowed yourself to feel, these are seeds. Let them be. Don't dig them up tomorrow morning to check on their progress. Let the dark, undisturbed soil of your own trust do what it already knows how to do. There was once a lighthouse keeper who worried, every single night, that if he did not personally watch the light, it would somehow go out. He would sit up long past exhaustion, eyes fixed on the flame, convinced that his attention alone was what kept the ships at sea from crashing against the rocks. He rarely slept. He grew thin and tired and a little strange from the isolation of believing that the entire safety of every passing ship depended on his unbroken watching. One stormy night, so exhausted he could no longer keep his eyes open, no matter how hard he tried, he finally collapsed into sleep at his post, certain that disaster would follow, certain that ships would wreck, certain that the moment he stopped watching, the light itself would fail, because surely it needed him as much as he had convinced himself it did. He woke the next morning to find the light still burning, exactly as it always had. The mechanism that fed it, the wick, the oil, the careful engineering built long before he ever arrived at that post. None of it had ever actually depended on his sleepless vigilance. The light had been designed to keep burning on its own. His watching had never been the thing keeping it lit. It had only been the thing keeping him exhausted. Many of us have made ourselves into lighthouse keepers over our own good fortune, sitting up at night, mentally, watching our hopes like a flame. We're terrified we'll go out the second we look away. Checking. Worrying. Refusing to rest, convinced that our vigilance is the only thing keeping the whole arrangement from collapsing. But the mechanism was never you. The thing that opens doors, that draws people and money and opportunity toward you, was built long before tonight, and it does not require your sleepless supervision to keep working. You are allowed to close your eyes. The light stays lit either way. One more story, and then we'll rest the body a while. A man once stood before a great door, holding 2 keys, though he could only ever remember to use one of them. The first key was heavy, ornate, uncomfortable to hold for very long, carved, it seemed, from all the reasons he might fail. Doubt, fear, the specific, familiar ache of remembering every other door that hadn't opened for him. He carried this key everywhere, out of habit more than choice, the way you carry a coat you no longer need, simply because you're used to its weight on your shoulders. The second key was smaller, plainer, almost too light to notice in his pocket, carved from something quieter. Certainty, ease, the simple, undramatic feeling of already belonging on the other side of the door before he'd even opened it. For years, he tried the first key at every door he came to, turning it again and again in locks. It was never built to open, wondering why it never quite worked, wondering what was wrong with the doors, or with him, or with the whole arrangement of the world that seemed to keep him standing outside things other people walked into with such apparent ease. He had simply forgotten about the second key. Not lost it, forgotten it, which is a different thing entirely. It had been in his pocket the whole time, light enough to go unnoticed, exactly because it required no effort to carry. One evening, exhausted from another door that wouldn't open, he reached into his pocket for something to lean on, and found, instead, the second key, warm from being carried so close to him for so long, without ever being used. He tried it, almost as an afterthought, expecting nothing. The door opened at the first gentle turn. He stood there a long moment, not quite believing it could be that simple, that the key which had always worked was the light one, the quiet one, the one carved from certainty rather than struggle, and that he had simply been reaching into the wrong pocket his whole life. Tonight, before you fall asleep, I want you to notice which key you've been reaching for. The heavy one, carved from doubt, that has never actually opened anything, no matter how many times you forced it into a lock. Or the light one, the one you may have forgotten you were carrying, carved from the simple, unremarkable certainty that the door was always going to open for you, because it already has. Reach for the light one tonight. If some part of you has been listening to all of this with one eyebrow raised, quietly unconvinced, maybe even a little embarrassed to be lying here taking a story about doors and gardens seriously, I want to speak directly to that part of you for a moment, because it deserves a real answer, not just a request to be quiet. You don't have to believe, in some cosmic, literal sense, that a river is carrying your wishes downstream toward you, or that an actual hallway of doors exists somewhere, waiting for your feet. That was never really the point. The point is much simpler and much more provable than that. What you rehearse before sleep shapes how you move through tomorrow. That much isn't mysticism. That's simply how minds work. A mind that rehearses dread before sleep tends to wake up guarded. A mind that rehearses ease before sleep tends to wake up a little more willing to try. So even if you file all of this under nice story, not literally true, you can still let it work on you the way any well-told story works on a mind right before sleep, not by convincing your logic, but by softening your nervous system, which was, this whole time, the actual target. The doors were never really the point. The loosening was. You are allowed to stay skeptical and still let your shoulders drop. You are allowed to doubt the metaphor and still benefit from the rest. It's built to deliver. Nothing about this requires blind faith. It only requires a willingness to let your body relax, while your mind reserves judgment, which, as it turns out, is something bodies are quite good at doing, with or without the mind's full approval. One last story before we rest the body. There was a village, long ago, in a valley so deep that the sun did not reach it until well into the morning, long after it had already risen everywhere else. Every day, the villagers woke in darkness and waited, sometimes anxiously, for the light to finally clear the mountain ridge and reach them. Some of them paced. Some of them complained that their valley had been given an unfair share of darkness. A few, over the years, simply stopped believing the sun would come at all, since they could never actually see it rising, only its late, second-hand arrival, long after the event itself had already happened, somewhere they couldn't see. But an old woman in the village, who had lived there longer than anyone, never worried about the wait. She would rise in the dark, make her tea, and go about her morning as though the sun were already up, because she would say, it was. It had already risen. It was simply taking its time crossing the ridge to reach them, the way all good things sometimes take a little longer to arrive in some valleys than in others, without that meaning they aren't already, somewhere, blazing. She was never anxious in the dark because she understood something the others kept forgetting. The sun's rising and the valley's receiving of that sunrise were two different events, separated only by the shape of the land between them, not two different questions of whether the sun existed at all. You may be sitting, tonight, in a valley of your own, waiting for a sunrise that, from where you're standing, hasn't cleared the ridge yet. I want you to borrow the old woman's certainty. The sun has already risen. What you're waiting for is not its existence, only its arrival over your particular ridge, in its own time, at its own pace, exactly the way sunrises have always worked, in every valley, in every village, since the beginning of mornings. Make your tea in the dark tonight, so to speak. Go about your rest as though the sun is already up, because in the only way that actually matters, it already is. Before we walk anywhere, let's give the body permission to fully let go, because a tense body keeps the mind on guard duty, and tonight, the mind is off duty. Wherever you're lying right now, feel the weight of your body sinking slightly into the mattress beneath you. Not moving, not adjusting, just noticing the places where you are already fully supported. Let's start at your feet. Bring your attention to your toes. Let them soften, spread slightly, loosen. Feel that softness travel up into the arches of your feet, into your heels. Your feet are heavy now, heavy and warm and done working for the day. Let that heaviness rise into your ankles, into your calves. Let them loosen, let them stop holding on. Into your knees, soft and unlocked. Into your thighs, releasing all the way down into the bed. Your legs, from hip to heel, are now heavy, warm, and completely at rest, like two doors laid gently open. Nothing to carry, nowhere to walk to tonight, except in your mind. Now bring your attention to your hips, your lower back. Let them soften into whatever is beneath you. Feel your stomach rise and fall with your breath, slow and unforced. No need to control it, just watch it happen, the way you'd watch a tide. Let the softness rise into your chest, into your shoulders, and here let them drop, really drop, away from your ears, heavy on either side of you, like they've finally set something down they didn't know they were carrying. Let that release travel down your arms, down through your elbows, your forearms, your wrists, into your hands. Let your fingers curl slightly, naturally, the way they do just before sleep. Heavy hands, open hands, hands that don't need to hold on to anything tonight, because everything you need is already on its way to you. Now bring your attention to your neck. Let it lengthen slightly. Let it soften into the pillow. Let your jaw unclench. You may not have noticed it was clenched at all. Let your tongue rest gently at the bottom of your mouth. Let your lips part just slightly, if that's comfortable. Let the muscles around your eyes soften. Let your eyebrows drop, unfurrow, smooth out. Let your forehead go completely still and quiet, like the surface of a lake with no wind over it. Your whole body now, from your forehead to your toes, is heavy, warm, and unguarded. You have nowhere to be but here. You have nothing to prove tonight to anyone, including yourself. Take one more breath in and let it go, long and slow, like you're breathing out the entire day. Every meeting, every argument, every worry you carried from room to room without ever putting down. Let it all go. It's not needed where we're going. Now, with your body resting and your breath slow, let's walk to the hallway. Picture, loosely, the way you would picture something in the last minutes before sleep. A house. It doesn't need to look like any house you know. It might shift and change as I describe it, and that's fine. Let it be whatever it wants to be. You are standing at the entrance to a long hallway. The floor beneath you is warm, maybe wood, maybe stone that's been sitting in sunlight all day. The air smells faintly like the inside of a home you love. Maybe cedar, maybe rain, maybe something you can't quite name, but that makes your shoulders drop the second you notice it. And stretching ahead of you, farther than you can see the end of, is a hallway lined with doors. Here is the only thing you need to know about this hallway. Every door in it is already open. Not cracked, not ajar. Open, wide, easy, unremarkable. The way a door looks when someone who lives there has simply left it open, because there was never any reason to close it. You start to walk. Your steps are unhurried. There's no urgency here, because urgency belongs to people who are still waiting for something. You are not waiting anymore. You are simply walking through what is already yours. As you walk, you notice the first door. It's slightly open, light spilling out from whatever room is behind it, warm and golden, like late afternoon sun. Above it, if you look, though you don't have to look, you can simply know, is a word. The word is abundance. Let's walk through it together. Door 1, abundance. You step through the doorway marked abundance, and the room opens around you, wide and light-filled, the way a room feels when nothing in it is scarce. Notice, without forcing it, what this room might contain. Maybe it's simple, a kitchen table with the mail on it, bills that have already been paid, a bank balance that no longer makes your stomach tighten when you check it. Maybe it's a version of your work, a desk where the money flows toward you easily, where opportunities arrive, not because you chase them, but because you were already standing in the room where they live. Whatever it looks like, let yourself feel, just for a moment, what it's like to no longer calculate, to buy the thing without doing math in your head first, to help someone you love without flinching, to open an app or an envelope or an email and feel nothing but ease. This is not about greed. It never was. It's about the exhausting, quiet tax that worry about money puts on every other part of a life. How it follows you into rooms that have nothing to do with money at all, into dinners, into sleep, into the way you talk to people you love. Tonight, let that tax be paid in full, and let the door close softly behind that old worry. Say to yourself quietly, in your own inner voice, not out loud, not effortfully, just let the words settle, like a held breath finally released. I am someone money moves easily toward. I do not chase it. It finds me, the way water finds the low, open places. The door of abundance is already open. I'm only walking through it now. Let that room and that feeling settle into you. You don't need to hold on to the details, just the feeling, ease, enough, more than enough. Now, let's step back into the hallway. There is another door ahead. Door 2, love and connection. The next door is warmer somehow, softer light, like the light in a room where people who love each other are gathered without needing to perform for one another. Above it, the word is love. Step through. Whatever your heart has been quietly hoping for, whether that's a love that hasn't arrived yet, or a love that's already in your life but has grown a little tired, a little distant, a little unspoken, let this room hold it. Feel, without forcing a specific image if none comes, what it's like to be fully known by someone and not flinch. To say the true thing and have it land softly instead of being met with silence. To be reached for, not just doing the reaching. To feel in your chest the specific relief of, I don't have to prove I'm worth staying for. I already am. If you are picturing a person, let them be warm, let them be kind, let the space between you feel unguarded. If no specific person comes to mind, that's all right too. Simply feel the quality of being loved well, the texture of it, like a familiar sweater. That feeling is the real invitation. The face can come later. The feeling comes first. Let yourself feel chosen, not needed, chosen. There's a difference, and your body knows it. Quietly, inwardly, let these settle. I am easy to love, and I no longer need to convince anyone of that, including myself. The love I want is not far away. It is already walking toward me through a door that has been open the whole time. I do not chase connection. I recognize it when it arrives, because I have already made room for it. Let the warmth of that room stay in your chest for a moment. Then, gently, let's step back into the hallway. Door 3, purpose and work. The next door is quieter, sturdier. the kind of door that belongs to a room where real work happens, but without strain. Above it, purpose. Step through. This room might look like your current work, transformed. The meetings that used to drain you, now feeling like conversations you're glad to be part of. Or it might look like work you haven't started yet, a version of your days spent doing the thing you keep quietly returning to in your mind when no one's watching. Notice what it feels like to do something and lose track of time doing it. Notice what it feels like to be good at something and to know it without needing anyone else to confirm it first. Notice the particular relief of a Sunday night that doesn't ache with dread, because Monday is not something to survive. It's something to walk into. Let yourself feel useful, not in the exhausting, overextended way, but in the quiet way. A tool feels useful in a hand that knows how to use it. You were built for something, whatever it is. Let this room remind your body what that feels like, even if your mind can't yet name it. Quietly, let these settle into you. My work in the world does not require my suffering. It requires my presence. I am already standing in the room where my purpose lives. I only have to stop pretending I'm not. The door marked "The work I was made for" has been open the entire time. I walk through it now, without hurry, without proving. Feel that settle. Now, back into the hallway, there is another door glowing softly ahead. Door 4, health and vitality. The next door feels different, cooler, cleaner, like the air right after rain. Above it, vitality. Step through. This room holds whatever wellness means to you tonight, not the version of health that comes from a magazine cover, but the quieter version, waking up without dread in your body, climbing stairs without noticing your knees, a mind that's clear instead of foggy, sleep that actually restores you instead of just interrupting the tiredness for a few hours. If you are carrying something specific in your body tonight, a pain, a diagnosis, a fear about your health, you don't need to argue with it here. You don't need to deny it exists. Just, for these few minutes, let this room hold a version of you whose body feels like an ally instead of a battlefield. Feel your breath moving easily through your chest. Feel your body as something that is, even now, quietly working in your favor, repairing, restoring, doing 1,000 things right that you never have to think about. Trust it, just a little more than you did yesterday. Quietly, let these settle. My body is already working for my healing, whether or not I can see it yet. I do not have to force wellness. I only have to stop blocking the door that leads to it. Vitality is not something I'm waiting for. It is already available to me, and I am walking toward it, gently, tonight. Let your breath settle even deeper here. Then, when you're ready, back into the hallway. Note, this segment offers imagery and rest, not medical guidance. If you are managing a health condition, please continue to follow the care of your doctor, alongside anything you feel here. Door 5, home and belonging. The next door smells like something familiar, maybe bread, maybe rain on a windowsill, maybe just the specific quiet of a house where nothing bad is about to happen. Above it, belonging. Step through. This room might be an actual home, the one you live in now, seen with new eyes, or one you haven't found yet, but can already feel the shape of. Notice the specific relief of a space that is entirely, unapologetically yours. A place where you don't have to explain yourself. A place that holds you back when you lean into it. Feel what it's like to belong somewhere. Not just live there, but belong there. The way a key belongs to its lock, without struggle, without force. Let that feeling extend past four walls too. Let it include the sense of belonging to a place in the world, a community, a group of people, a version of your life where you are not constantly the outsider, looking in through a window, but someone standing comfortably inside. Quietly, let these settle. I already belong exactly where I'm going. Home is not something I have to earn. It is something I'm allowed to walk into. The door marked belonging has been open the whole time. I was only standing too far back in the hallway to see the light coming through it. Let that settle, warm, into your chest. Now, gently, back into the hallway. Door 6, peace and self. The next door is the quietest one yet. Barely a sound as it swings, like it's been well oiled by years of gentle use. Above it, peace. Step through. This room holds nothing to fix. That's the strange, unfamiliar relief of it. For once, there is no project here. No self-improvement plan. No list of everything wrong with you that needs correcting before you're allowed to rest. Feel what it's like to simply be enough, exactly as you are tonight. Tired, imperfect, still figuring things out, and enough anyway. Feel the specific relief of not performing, not for your family, not for your job, not even for yourself. Feel your own company as something restful instead of something to escape. This room doesn't ask you to become someone else in order to deserve everything the other rooms held. It simply says, you were always allowed in. You didn't need to knock. You didn't need to qualify. The doubt that told you otherwise was never true. It was only loud. Quietly, let these settle. I do not have to earn my own peace. I am allowed to rest, even before everything is finished, especially before everything is finished. The door marked peace was never locked. Only my own hand, clenched around old fears, made it seem that way. Let your hands unclench now, wherever they're resting. Let your whole body exhale into that room. Then softly, back into the hallway one more time. Door 7, joy. The last door on this walk is the brightest, light spilling from underneath it like sunrise through a curtain. Above it, simply, joy. Step through. This room doesn't need a reason. That's what makes it different from all the others. It's not joy because the money came, or the love arrived, or the body healed. It's joy that was always available, underneath all your waiting. The way the sky is always blue above the clouds, whether or not you can see it from the ground. Feel, if you can, the specific lightness of laughing at something small. The pleasure of a song you love. The particular delight of doing something just because it's fun, with no productivity attached to it at all. Let yourself remember that you are allowed this. You were always allowed this. Quietly, let these settle and then let them rest, because we are nearly ready to stop needing words altogether tonight. Joy is not the reward at the end of the hallway. It was in the hallway the whole time. I do not need a reason to feel light. I am allowed to feel light simply because I am alive tonight, breathing, resting, becoming. Every door I have walked through tonight was already open. I did not force a single one. The hallway is quiet now, but it isn't finished. There are more doors ahead, softer ones, further down, the ones we save for when the body has already started to trust the process. Let's keep walking, slower now, half drifting, the way you walk through a house you've lived in your whole life without needing the lights on to find your way. Door 8, confidence and self-worth. The next door is plain, unremarkable, almost easy to walk past without noticing, which is fitting because what's behind it has always been quiet, too quiet to compete with louder doubts. Above it, worth. Step through. This room holds the version of you who doesn't shrink in rooms full of other people. The version of you who speaks the true sentence instead of the safe one. The version of you who can be told no once by one person in one moment and not turn it into a verdict on your entire life. Feel what it's like to walk into a room and simply belong there without first scanning every face to see if you're welcome. Feel what it's like to make a mistake and let it be small, exactly as small as it actually is. Feel the specific, unfamiliar relief of not auditioning for your own life anymore. Quietly, let these settle. I do not need permission to take up space. My worth was never up for debate. It only felt that way because I kept debating it myself. The door marked worth was open before I was born. I am only now old enough to walk through it without apologizing. Let that settle. Back into the hallway. Door 9, forgiveness and release. The next door is heavier to look at, though it isn't heavy to open. That's the trick of it, the thing that makes it feel harder than it is. Above it, release. Step through. This room holds whatever you've been carrying that was never yours to carry forever. An old hurt, a grudge, grown tired from being held so long, a version of yourself you haven't forgiven for a decision made with less information than you have now. You don't have to decide anything in this room tonight. You don't have to declare that it's all fine now, or that it didn't matter, or that you're over it. You only have to feel for a moment what it might be like to set something down. Not because it deserves to be forgiven, but because your arms deserve to be empty. Feel your chest loosen slightly. Feel your jaw, which may have been clenched around an old argument for longer than you realized, finally soften. Quietly, let these settle. I am allowed to release what I am no longer willing to carry. Letting go is not the same as saying it was okay. It is only saying, my hands are needed for other things now. The door marked release opens outward, away from the weight, not toward more of it. Let your hands go loose again, wherever they're resting, back into the hallway. Door 10, family and belonging together. The next door sounds faintly like a kitchen, dishes, low conversation, someone laughing at something you can't quite hear. Above it, together. Step through. This room holds the people who share your blood or your history, or simply your Sunday afternoons, seen for a moment without the old friction that sometimes gathers around family, like dust in a house that's lived in too long. Feel what it might be like to be understood by the people who knew you first, or to build a new definition of family with the people who understand you now. Feel the relief of a conversation that doesn't need to be managed, defended, or rehearsed beforehand. Feel yourself simply belonging at that table, exactly as you are tonight. Quietly, let these settle. I do not have to earn a seat at the table. I already have one. The people who are meant to understand me are already finding their way closer, even the ones who haven't yet. The door marked together is open at both ends. I can walk through it, and so can they. Let that warmth settle, back into the hallway. Door 11, creativity and expression. The next door hums faintly, like an instrument left in a room, still vibrating from the last note played. Above it, expression. Step through. This room holds whatever wants to move through you and hasn't yet. The book unwritten, the song unplayed, the idea you've mentioned once, quietly, and then never again, because no one seemed to understand it. In this room, that idea doesn't need anyone's understanding to be worth making. Feel what it's like to create something, purely because making it feels better than not making it. Feel the old fear of being seen, loosen its grip, just slightly, just for tonight. Feel your hands wherever they're resting right now, as capable hands, hands that have always known how to make things, even when your mind doubted them. Quietly, let these settle. What wants to move through me does not need to be perfect to be worth letting out. I am allowed to make things no one asked for. The door marked expression has been open since I was a child. I only stopped walking through it when someone told me to be quiet. Let that settle, back into the hallway. Door 12, freedom and adventure. The next door is lighter somehow, as if there's wind on the other side of it, though the hallway itself is still. Above it, freedom. Step through. This room holds whatever freedom means to you specifically. Maybe it's a literal place you haven't been yet. Maybe it's simply a Tuesday, with nothing scheduled on it. Maybe it's the freedom to change your mind about your own life, without having to justify it to anyone. Feel what it's like to make a choice simply because you want to, not because it's the responsible option, not because it's what's expected. Feel the specific lightness of a life that has room in it, room to wander, room to change course, room to not have everything figured out yet. Quietly, let these settle. I am not required to have my whole life decided. Freedom is not something I'll earn later. It is something I'm allowed to feel tonight. The door marked freedom does not lead away from my responsibilities. It simply leads to a version of me who carries them more lightly. Let that lightness settle, back into the hallway. Door 13, gratitude. The next door is warm to the touch, if a door can be warm, like it's been sitting in sunlight for years. Above it, gratitude. Step through. This room doesn't ask you to want anything new. It only asks you to notice what's already here. The breath moving in and out of your body without your permission or effort. The bed holding you up right now. The fact that somewhere, today, something went quietly, unremarkably right, and you probably didn't stop to notice it. Let yourself feel grateful without needing a reason big enough to justify the feeling. Let yourself feel grateful for things that haven't happened yet. The way you'd thank someone for a gift you can already feel being wrapped, even before you've opened it. Quietly, let these settle. I do not need permission to feel grateful before the proof arrives. Gratitude is not the reward for a good life. It is the doorway into one. I'm thankful tonight, quietly, simply, for doors I haven't even walked through yet. Let that settle, warm, in your chest. Back into the hallway, one last time. Door 14, new beginnings. The final door on tonight's walk is unlike the others. Plain, blank, no word above it yet, because this one is still being written. This one is yours to name. Step through, without needing to know exactly what's on the other side. This room holds whatever comes next, not a specific outcome, but the quality of next itself, a fresh page, a version of your story that hasn't been decided yet, which means it hasn't been ruined yet either. Whatever chapter is closing in your life right now, this room holds the one after it, still blank, still full of room for anything. Feel the relief of not needing to know exactly what's coming. Feel the strange comfort of an unwritten page, how it isn't frightening once you stop needing to control every word on it in advance. Quietly, let these settle. I do not have to know exactly what's next in order to trust that it's good. New beginnings do not require me to finish grieving the old ones first. Both can happen at once. The last door in tonight's hallway is unmarked because it belongs to a future only I get to write. I write it now, gently, simply, by falling asleep as the person who already knows it's good. The hallway of doors has ended for tonight, but beyond the last door, there is one more place I want to walk you through before we settle fully into rest. A garden, the kind that only exists in the space right before sleep, where the ordinary rules of gardens don't quite apply. Picture, loosely, stepping out of that last unmarked door into open air. The ground beneath your feet is soft, grass maybe, or something like moss, cool and a little damp, the way grass feels early in the morning before the day has touched it. Above you, the sky is the particular color it becomes just after sunset, when it isn't quite dark yet, but the brightness of the day has gone soft and forgiving. There might be a single star out already, or the beginning of many. It doesn't matter how many. It only matters that the sky feels close and kind and unhurried. Around you, the garden is full, not manicured, not perfect, but alive, growing exactly the way it wants to grow. Notice, without needing to look closely, that some of what's growing here you planted a long time ago and forgot about. Old wishes, old hopes, things you stopped watering because you assumed they'd died. They didn't die. They only grew slowly, quietly, out of sight, the way the most important things usually do. Walk a little further into the garden. Feel the air, cool and soft against your skin. Notice a bench or a soft patch of grass somewhere ahead of you, somewhere that feels like exactly the right place to finally sit down. Sit. Or lie back, if that feels right, and let the sky hold your attention, the way it held it when you were young enough to still lie in grass without worrying about your clothes, or your time, or what you were supposed to be doing instead. This garden does not need tending tonight. Everything in it is already growing exactly as it should. Your only job here is to rest in it, to let it hold you, the way the hallway held you, the way the doors held you, the way this entire night has been built, quietly, to hold you. Let your breath slow even further here. Let the garden grow a little hazier at the edges, the way real gardens do, right before you fall asleep in them. You don't need to hold on to the image. Let it soften, let it blur, let it become simply a feeling of green and cool air and a sky that isn't going anywhere. Before we walk to the second hallway, let's rest a while longer in the garden, because there is one more thing in it I want to show you. A river running quietly along the far edge, where the grass grows a little wilder and the air grows a little cooler. Picture, loosely, walking toward the sound of water. Not rushing water, slow water, the kind that moves like it has nowhere urgent to be, the kind that has clearly been flowing this way for a very long time and intends to keep flowing this way for a very long time after you've gone. This river has a name, though it isn't written anywhere. It's called, simply, the river of already. Everything this river carries has already happened, in the only way that matters, not in the world of clocks and calendars, but in the deeper world underneath it, the world where feeling comes first and circumstance follows. Every wish you've ever quietly made, every hope you were embarrassed to say out loud, every prayer that felt too specific or too greedy or too unlikely, all of it is already moving through this water, already on its way downstream, toward you, whether you've been watching for it or not. Kneel down, if that feels right, at the edge of the river. Let your hand rest in the water, if you can picture it, cool but not cold, moving steadily around your fingers without resistance. Notice, without needing to see clearly, that the water is carrying things. Small, indistinct shapes, drifting past, not sharp enough to name, but warm enough to feel. One of them brushes gently against your hand as it passes. You don't need to know exactly what it is. You only need to feel, for a moment, that it's already on its way, and that it was always going to reach you eventually, the way anything carried by a river eventually reaches the sea. This river does not need your permission to keep flowing. It does not pause because you doubted it yesterday. It does not speed up because you begged it to hurry last week. It simply moves at its own unhurried pace, carrying what's already yours toward the place where you'll finally notice it's arrived. Your only task, kneeling here at the edge of it, is to trust the water more than you trust the waiting. To stop staring anxiously downstream, willing something to appear sooner. To simply let your hand rest in what's already moving and know that noticing isn't required for it to keep happening. Feel the cool water a moment longer. Then, gently, rise. You don't need to follow the river to its end. You only needed to know tonight that it exists, that somewhere, always, something is already moving toward you, patient, steady, and completely unconcerned with your doubt. Quietly, let this settle. What is meant for me is already in motion. I do not need to rush the river. I only need to trust that it is still flowing. Everything I've hoped for is already somewhere between wish and arrival. An arrival is simply a matter of time now, not a matter of doubt. The sound of the water grows softer, further away, as you turn back toward the garden path. But before we walk to the second hallway, there's one more room I want to show you. Not a door this time, but a small attic, tucked above the house you started in. Easy to miss unless you know to look for the narrow staircase. Picture, loosely, a narrow staircase, a little dusty, leading upward from somewhere near where the hallway began. You don't need to know exactly where it is. Just know that it's there, and that tonight, gently, without any urgency, you're going to climb it. At the top, a small room, lit by a single round window, the kind that lets in soft, slanted light, even at night, as if the moon has been arranged specifically to shine through it. This attic holds everything you've outgrown, but haven't yet put down. Old beliefs, boxed up, some of them so old you forgot you were still carrying them at all. You don't need to open every box tonight, just notice a few, sitting there in the moonlight, gathering dust. One box, near the door, is labeled, in handwriting, that might be your own from a long time ago. Good things happen to other people. You don't need to defend this belief, or explain where it came from, or figure out exactly which disappointment taught it to you first. You only need to notice it, sitting there, and recognize that it's simply a box, not a fact, not a law. A box, like any other, that can be left behind in an attic instead of carried downstream into the rest of your life. Another box, a little further in, is labeled, "I have to struggle to deserve rest." Look at it for a moment. Notice how heavy it looks, even from here, heavier than it has any right to be, for something that fits inside a single small box. You don't have to carry that one downstairs with you either. A third box tucked in the corner is labeled, "If something good happens, something bad will follow to balance it out." This one might be the heaviest of all, because it doesn't just block good things, it makes you afraid of them once they arrive. Notice it, let it be exactly what it is, an old, tired belief, inherited from somewhere, that never actually served you the way it promised to. You don't need to burn these boxes or dramatically destroy them, or even fully understand them tonight. You only need to do one simple thing: leave them here. Turn quietly and walk back down the narrow staircase, and this time, leave your hands empty. Notice how light your shoulders feel without them. Notice how much easier the stairs are to descend when you're not also managing the weight of everything you used to believe about what you deserved. You can always come back up here if you ever need to. The boxes aren't going anywhere, but you don't have to carry them tonight. Tonight, your hands are for reaching toward open doors, not gripping onto old, dusty beliefs that were never yours to keep in the first place. Quietly, let this settle as you reach the bottom of the stairs. I am allowed to leave old beliefs behind, even the ones I've carried for a long time. Just because I believed something once does not mean I owe it my loyalty forever. My hands are empty now, and ready for something new. The garden path continues ahead of you, soft underfoot, leading back toward the second hallway, waiting quietly in the dark. The garden fades now, softly, the way a scene fades at the very edge of sleep, not disappearing, just going a little translucent, a little further away. And beyond it, without quite knowing how you got there, you find yourself in a second hallway. This one is different, shorter, dimmer, the kind of hallway you find in the back of a house you love, the part that isn't shown to guests, the part that's just for you. These doors are quieter, more private, but no less open. Let's walk through a few more. Door 15, recognition. The first door in the second hallway is small, almost easy to miss, but warm light seeps out from underneath it anyway. Above it, seen. Step through. This room holds the quiet, almost embarrassing wish most of us carry and rarely say out loud: to be noticed, not performed for, not chased after, simply noticed for the actual things you do, the actual effort you put in, the actual person you are, underneath the version you present to be easier to deal with. Feel what it's like to be given credit without having to ask for it. Feel what it's like for someone to say, unprompted, "I see how hard you've been working," and mean it. Feel yourself finally exhale the old fear that if you stopped proving your value, everyone would stop noticing you at all. Quietly, let these settle. I do not need to perform to be worth noticing. The right recognition is already making its way toward me, in its own time, in its own form. I release the exhausting need to announce my own worth. It speaks for itself now. Back into the hallway. Door 16, financial freedom. The next door is heavier, sturdier, built it seems to hold something substantial behind it. Above it, freedom from fear. Step through. This room is not about luxury. It's about the specific, physical relief of a nervous system that no longer tightens every time an unexpected expense appears. It's the version of you who can say yes to an opportunity without first calculating whether you can survive the risk. Feel what it's like to make decisions from possibility instead of from fear. Feel what it's like to give generously without first subtracting from your own sense of safety. Feel the quiet, grounded knowing that no matter what happens, you will be all right. Not because you've calculated every outcome, but because you trust your own resourcefulness completely. Quietly, let these settle. I release the fear that has been running my financial decisions. I am resourceful. I have always found a way, even when I didn't believe I would. The door marked financial freedom is not about having everything. It is about fearing nothing. Back into the hallway. Door 17, travel and expansion. The next door smells like somewhere else entirely, salt air or mountain cold, or the particular dust of a road you've never walked. Above it, elsewhere. Step through. This room holds the parts of the world you haven't seen yet, and the parts of yourself that only seem to show up when you're somewhere unfamiliar. Braver, more curious, less concerned with how you're perceived. Feel the specific expansiveness of being somewhere new, where no one has a fixed idea of who you are, where you get to simply be a person, discovering something, without history, without explanation. Quietly, let these settle. I am allowed to want more of the world than I have seen. New places are already making room for me. The door marked elsewhere does not require me to leave anything behind. It only asks me to keep walking. Back into the hallway. Door 18. Legacy and meaning. The next door is old, in the best sense, worn smooth by hands that came before yours. Above it, what remains? Step through. This room holds the quiet question underneath so many of our other wishes. Will any of this have mattered? And it answers, simply, without drama, yes. Not because of one grand achievement, but because of the ordinary, accumulated weight of a life lived with care. The people you were kind to, the small corrections you made in yourself that rippled outward, further than you'll ever know. Feel the relief of not needing a monument. Feel the quiet dignity of a life that mattered in ways too soft to measure. Quietly, let these settle. My life does not need to be loud to have mattered. What I give quietly is not wasted. It is already changing the shape of things around me. The door marked, "What remains," does not lead to an ending. It leads to everything I've already, quietly, begun. Back into the hallway. Door 19. Inner child. The next door is smaller than the others. You might have to bend slightly to walk through it. Above it, in slightly uneven letters, as if written by a child's hand. Still here. Step through. This room holds the version of you from a long time ago. The one who wanted things simply, before you learned to be embarrassed about wanting them. The one who believed, without needing proof, that good things were possible. That version of you is not gone. She is, he is, still here, still hopeful, still standing quietly behind every wish you've made since. Feel what it's like to comfort that younger version of yourself. Tell them, quietly, that it worked out, that the waiting wasn't for nothing, that the doors did open, eventually, even the ones that seemed permanently shut. Quietly, let these settle. The part of me that still hopes was right to keep hoping, I did not lose my capacity for wonder, I only misplaced it for a while. The door marked, "Still here," was never locked. I only grew tall enough to forget I could still walk through it. Back into the hallway. Door 20, Spiritual Connection. The final door of the second hallway is quiet in a different way than the others. Not empty, but full of a kind of silence that feels attentive, almost alive. Above it, simply connected. Step through. This room holds whatever something larger means to you. Nature, a higher power, the universe, the simple mystery of being alive at all in a body, on a planet, spinning through space, for reasons no one has ever fully explained. You don't need a specific belief to enter this room. You only need to feel, for a moment, that you are not alone in whatever you're walking through. Feel the specific comfort of being held by something larger than your own effort. Feel the relief of not needing to carry your entire life on your own shoulders. Feel, quietly, that you are supported, not because you've earned it, but because that is simply how it has always been. Quietly, let these settle. I am not alone in this. Something larger than my fear is already working on my behalf. The door marked "Connected" reminds me that I was never actually walking this hallway by myself. The second hallway grows quiet now, dim, soft at the edges. All 20 doors, standing open behind you, humming faintly, with everything you've felt tonight. There is one more small hallway tonight, the shortest one yet, tucked just past the second, easy to miss if you weren't already. This relaxed, this open, this willing to keep walking a little further than you expected to. This hallway is narrow, almost cozy, lit by a single warm lamp somewhere you can't quite see. 5 doors here, close together, saved for last because they're the quiet, easily overlooked things that make up the actual texture of a good life, underneath all the bigger wishes. Door 26. Time. The first door here is unhurried, patient looking, as if it's never once been in a rush. Above it, enough time. Step through. This room holds the specific relief of a life that doesn't feel like it's constantly running out. Feel what it's like to have time for the things that matter. An unhurried dinner, a full night's sleep, an afternoon with absolutely nothing scheduled on it. Feel the old belief that you never have enough time loosen its grip, just slightly. Quietly, let these settle. I have enough time for what actually matters. I release the constant sense of racing against a clock that was never actually chasing me. The door marked "Enough Time" reminds me that rushing was never the same thing as living well. Back into the hallway, door 27, Beauty. The next door opens onto something like soft color, though you can't quite say what. Above it, Beauty. Step through. This room holds the small, easily missed beauty of ordinary things. Light through a window, the specific blue of early evening, a piece of music that catches you off guard. Feel what it's like to notice beauty, without needing to photograph it, without needing to prove you saw it, simply letting it move through you and leave something behind. Quietly, let these settle. I am allowed to stop and notice beauty, even on ordinary days. Beauty does not require an occasion. The door marked "Beauty" is open every time I actually look, instead of rushing past. Back into the hallway, door 28, Honest Communication. The next door hums faintly, like the tail end of a conversation. Above it, truth spoken, gently. Step through. This room holds the relief of saying the true thing without it turning into a fight, of being direct without being harsh, of being heard without having to raise your voice or your walls. Feel what it's like to be fully honest with someone and have that honesty received with care instead of defensiveness. Quietly, let these settle. I am allowed to speak my truth gently and still be taken seriously. I do not need to shout to be heard. The door marked "Truth Spoken Gently" opens conversations I used to be afraid to start. Back into the hallway, door 29, simple kindness. The next door is small, unassuming, easy to walk past without noticing, which somehow fits. Above it, kindness. Step through. This room holds nothing dramatic, just the quiet accumulation of small kindnesses, given and received, that make up far more of a good life than any single big achievement ever could. Feel what it's like to be treated gently by strangers. Feel what it's like to offer that same gentleness back without keeping score. Quietly, let these settle. Kindness is already moving toward me in small, easily missed forms. I am allowed to be kind to myself with the same ease I offer others. The door marked kindness is the quietest door in the whole hallway and maybe the most important one. Back into the hallway, door 30, the life you're already living. The last door in this last narrow hallway is unlike any of the others. It doesn't lead anywhere new. Above it, simply, here. Step through. This room is quietly exactly the room you're already in. Your actual bed, your actual breath, your actual life, right now, tonight. And the strange, gentle secret of this final door is that it was never really about getting somewhere else at all. It was about realizing that the life you're already living, right now, imperfect and unfinished as it is, already contains enough good in it to be worth falling asleep grateful for. Quietly, let this last thought settle, softer than all the others tonight. Here's enough. Now is enough. I'm enough, exactly as I am, falling asleep in this exact ordinary, quietly extraordinary moment. 30 doors now, all standing open behind you, all humming faintly in the dark. You don't need to remember any of them individually. You only need to carry the feeling, open. Open, 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 all the way down the hallway, all the way into sleep. Now we are going to slow down even further. From here on, there's nothing new to picture, nowhere new to walk, just soft repetition, like waves, each one slightly different, each one meant to carry you a little further from waking and a little deeper into rest. You do not need to hold on to any single line. Let them wash over you. Let some of them dissolve before they finish. That's not failing to listen. That's exactly how this is supposed to work. Every door has already opened for me. I am not waiting anymore. I am walking. What I have longed for has already been given. I'm only catching up to it in time. I sleep tonight as someone the world is already saying yes to. The good I've wanted is already arranged. I do not need to force it. I only need to rest. I release the grip of trying. Trying was never the door. Feeling was always the door. I am worthy of ease. I am worthy of rest. I am worthy of good news arriving while I sleep. Somewhere tonight, a door is opening for me that I don't even know about yet. I do not have to see it to trust it. I only have to feel it and let the feeling be enough. I am the kind of person things work out for. I am the kind of person doors open for. I am the kind of person who sleeps peacefully because the outcome is already settled in me. My future is not something I'm anxious about. It is something I already trust. I have already walked through the door of abundance. I carry that ease with me now. I have already walked through the door of love. I carry that warmth with me now. I have already walked through the door of purpose. I carry that clarity with me now. I have already walked through the door of health. I carry that trust with me now. I have already walked through the door of home. I carry that belonging with me now. I have already walked through the door of peace. I carry that permission with me now. I have already walked through the door of joy. I carry that lightness with me now. Every door, already open, already mine. I release the need to check whether it's working. I release the need to know how. The how was never my job. My job was only to feel it and let go. Tonight, my sleep is not empty. It is working quietly on my behalf. While my body rests, something in me is already rearranging the world in my favor. I do not need to supervise it. I only need to let it happen. I am safe to want good things. I am safe to expect good things. I am safe to fall fully asleep, trusting that the door stays open even while I dream. There is nothing to force tonight. There's nothing to prove tonight. There's only this breath, and the next one, and the quiet, knowing underneath them both. I'm already the version of me who has what I've been asking for. That version of me is not far away in some distant future. She is, he is, the one falling asleep right now. There is no gap between us anymore. The door closed that gap the moment I stopped measuring it. I let go of the old story where I have to struggle for good things. I let go of the old story where rest has to be earned. I let go of the old story where the door stays shut until I'm perfect enough to deserve it. A new, quieter story is available to me now. In this story, I'm already provided for. In this story, I'm already loved. In this story, I'm already well. In this story, I'm already home. I fall asleep inside that story tonight. I do not need to finish it. I only need to rest inside it. It will still be true when I wake up. Every door has already opened for me. Every door has already opened for me. Every door has already opened for me. I am walking through it now, slower and slower, softer and softer, until walking becomes drifting, and drifting becomes sleep. Let's stay here a while longer. There's no reason to hurry towards sleep. Sleep will come on its own, the way it always has, the way it always will. For now, let's simply keep drifting on these words, wave after wave, each one a little softer than the last. A wave for abundance. I release the fear of not having enough. Enough is already on its way to me. I do not need to grip money tightly to keep it. I only need to trust that more is always arriving. My bank account is not a measure of my worth. It is simply a number, and numbers change. I am relaxed about money tonight, the way someone is relaxed who already knows the outcome. Opportunities are already finding their way toward me while I sleep. I do not have to hustle for abundance. I only have to stop blocking the door that leads to it. A wave for love. I am worthy of a love that feels easy. I do not have to perform to be chosen. The right people are already being drawn toward me, the way warmth is drawn toward warmth. I release any belief that love has to be earned through suffering. I am safe to be fully seen. I am safe to be fully known. Love is not scarce. It was never scarce. I was only standing in a room with the lights off. A wave for health. My body is already working in my favor. I trust the quiet intelligence inside me that keeps my heart beating without my help. I do not have to understand healing for healing to happen. I release tension I didn't even know I was holding. My body is allowed to rest deeply tonight. Every cell in my body is receiving this rest as instruction. Renew, restore, repair. I wake up tomorrow a little more whole than I was today. A wave for purpose. I'm already standing where I'm meant to be standing. My gifts are not too much. They were never too much. The work I'm meant to do does not require me to shrink first. I release the fear that I am behind. There is no schedule I am failing to keep. There is only the pace that is actually mine. What I am meant to build is already being built, even in the parts of the day I don't notice. A wave for peace. I do not have to fix everything before I'm allowed to rest. I release the belief that I must always be doing something to be worthy of stillness. This moment does not require my anxiety to keep it safe. I am allowed to feel good even when things are unfinished. Peace is not the reward at the end. Peace is available right now, in this breath. I let my shoulders drop one more time, all the way down, all the way soft. A wave for trust. Nice. I do not need to see the whole staircase to trust the next step. I release the need to control outcomes that were never mine to control. Something wiser than my worry is already at work on my behalf. I trust the timing of my life, even the slow parts, especially the slow parts. What is meant for me cannot miss me. What is not meant for me was never actually a closed door. It was simply the wrong hallway. A wave for release. I release what I have outgrown. I release the version of me that believed good things were for other people. I release the old argument I keep replaying, even though it's already over. I release the need to be understood by everyone. I release the grip on outcomes I cannot control. I release, I release, I release. And in the space that's left, something better has room to arrive. A wave for belonging. I am allowed to take up space in my own life. I do not need an invitation to belong somewhere I already am. The right people, the right places, the right rooms are already recognizing me, even before I walk in. I release the old fear of being too much, or not enough, or somehow always slightly wrong for the room. I am exactly the right person for the life that's arriving. A wave for gratitude. Thank you for this breath. Thank you for this bed, this warmth, this stillness. Thank you for the doors already opened, even the ones I haven't walked through yet. Thank you for the people quietly moving toward me right now, without my having to chase them. Thank you for the good that is already arranged, waiting only for morning to reveal it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Not because everything is finished, but because everything is already, quietly, underway. A wave for the self. I like who I am becoming. I do not need to be finished to be worthy of rest tonight. I forgive myself for the years I spent knocking on doors that were open the whole time. I am allowed to change my mind about what I believe I deserve. I choose tonight to believe I deserve everything good, simply because I am here, breathing, trying, becoming. A wave for sleep itself. My sleep tonight is not empty. It is productive in a way that has nothing to do with effort. While I rest, my mind is quietly sorting, organizing, healing. While I rest, my body is repairing what the day wore down. While I rest, the door stays open, because doors do not close themselves while no one is pushing on them. I fall asleep now, unafraid, unguarded, unhurried. A second wave for abundance. I'm someone good things happen to, easily, often, without struggle. Money moves toward me, the way water moves toward the lowest, most open ground. I do not need to watch the door to know it's opening. I simply feel it, and that feeling is enough. Unexpected good news is already on its way to me. I am provided for. I have always, in every season, ultimately been provided for. A second wave for love. Someone, somewhere, is grateful tonight for the exact same connection I am imagining right now. I do not chase love. I recognize it, and I let it recognize me. I release the fear of being left. I am not the kind of person people leave without reason, and even then, the right ones stay. My heart is safe to open again. I am already loved more than I know. A second wave for purpose. I trust that the work I am meant for is finding its way to me. I do not need to force my path. I only need to keep walking it. My effort has not been wasted, even in the seasons that felt like nothing was happening. Every door I walked through today, even the small ones, was preparing me for the one still ahead. I am exactly where I need to be to become who I'm becoming. A second wave for peace. Nothing is required of me right now except breath. I let the day end here, fully, without carrying any of it into tomorrow. My mind is allowed to go quiet. My body is allowed to go heavy. There's nothing left to solve tonight. A wave of simple repetition. Every door is already opened. I am not waiting. I am walking. It is already done. It is already mine. I'm already there. Every door is already opened. Every door has already opened. Every door has already opened. If you are still with me, notice how much softer these words feel now than they did an hour ago. That softening is not the words changing. It's you changing, settling, trusting, letting go, one small release at a time. Let's rest here a while, in silence, and let the waves keep moving on their own. A third wave for abundance. I no longer need evidence before I feel secure. Security is a feeling I'm allowed to generate first, and let the circumstances catch up. I release comparing my finances to anyone else's timeline. My provision does not look like anyone else's. It only has to look like enough, for me, in my own life. I am grateful in advance for the resources still finding their way to me. A third wave for love. I stop auditioning for love that requires me to be smaller. I am allowed to want to be pursued, not just chosen out of convenience. The love that's meant for me does not require translation. It simply understands. I release any relationship, in my imagination tonight, that asks me to shrink to be kept. I am building, quietly, a life that has room for real love to walk into. A third wave for purpose. I am not late. There's no clock running out on my potential. Every year that felt wasted was actually preparation I couldn't see the shape of yet. My path does not have to look like anyone else's to be the right one. I trust the timing of my own becoming. A third wave for peace. I am not behind on my own life. I release the mental habit of comparing my current chapter to someone else's highlight reel. This exact moment, imperfect as it is enough for tonight. I do not need to solve anything else before I'm allowed to close my eyes. Peace is not something I have to travel toward. It is available right here, in this breath. A wave for courage. I am braver than the story I've been telling myself. I do not need to feel fearless to take the next step. I only need to take it anyway. Every door I've ever walked through required some small courage I didn't know I had until I used it. I trust myself to handle whatever walks through the door alongside the good. I am capable. I've always, eventually, been capable. A wave for patience. I release the need for everything to happen at once. Good things are allowed to arrive gradually, in their own order, without my supervision. I am not falling behind by resting tonight. Some doors open slowly, like sunrise, not all at once, like a light switch, and both are still opening. I trust the pace of my own unfolding. A wave for self-trust. I know myself better than my doubts do. I do not need external permission to trust my own instincts. I have survived every hard season so far. That is not luck, that is proof. I trust the part of me that keeps quietly choosing to hope, even when it would be easier not to. I am on my own side tonight. A wave for letting the mind rest. My mind does not need to solve anything else tonight. Whatever problem followed me into bed can wait outside this room until morning. I am allowed to think about nothing. Thoughts may still drift through, and that's all right. I simply let them pass, like clouds with somewhere else to be. My mind is allowed to go quiet, slow, and simple. A wave for the body's wisdom. My body knows how to rest even when my mind resists it. I trust my breath to keep going without my supervision. I trust my heart to keep beating without my instruction. If my body can manage all of that without effort, it can manage falling asleep too. I hand the rest of tonight over to my body's own intelligence. A wave for already. It is already done. It is already given. It is already mine. I am already there. The door is already open. I am already home. A wave for ease. Nothing has to be hard tonight. I release the belief that struggle proves I'm trying hard enough. Ease is not laziness. It is simply what happens when resistance finally stops. I am allowed to let good things come to me without a fight. Everything I actually need is arriving with far less effort than I've been giving it. A wave for alignment. I do not need to force my life into shape. I only need to stop fighting the shape it's already trying to take. When something feels effortful for too long, it may simply be the wrong door. I trust the doors that open easily, more than the ones I have to kick down. I'm aligning, quietly, with the version of my life that was always meant for me. Alignment feels like relief, not like struggle. A wave for receiving. I am allowed to receive without immediately needing to give something back. I release the discomfort of being helped. I am allowed to say thank you, simply, without over-explaining why I deserved it. Receiving is not weakness. It is trust. Practice quietly, one open hand at a time. I open my hands tonight and let good things land in them. A wave for letting others help. I do not have to carry everything alone. Asking for help is not proof that I've failed. People who love me are glad for the chance to show it. I release the old belief that needing anyone makes me weak. I am allowed to be held too. A wave for the body. Tonight, my body has carried me faithfully through everything, even the hardest days. I thank it, quietly, for still showing up. I release any tension I've been holding against my own body. My body deserves gentleness, not criticism. Tonight, my body rests, fully forgiven for not being perfect. A wave for the mind. Tonight, my mind has been working hard, and it's allowed to stop now. I release the pressure to have everything figured out before I sleep. My thoughts do not need to be productive right now. I let my mind wander without following it anywhere in particular. My mind is allowed to go quiet, simple, and soft. A wave for old wounds. Whatever hurt me once does not get to decide what happens next. I am not the sum of my worst days. The parts of me that are still healing are allowed to heal slowly. I release the shame of not being fully healed yet. Healing is still happening, even on the nights it doesn't feel like it. A wave for the version of me who already has it. She's not waiting anymore. He's not checking the mailbox anxiously every day. That version of me moves through the world calmly, already certain, already provided for. I borrow that certainty tonight and let it settle into my own chest. I am becoming that version of myself. I am already closer than I think. A wave for doors not yet named. There are good things coming that I haven't even thought to hope for yet. I leave room tonight for surprises better than my own plans. Not every open door has a name yet, and that's all right. I trust the doors I can't yet see as much as the ones I can. Something good is arriving that I don't even know to wait for. Let's rest in something even simpler now. Short phrases repeated slowly, with nothing to follow them, nothing to build toward. Just a soft loop of words, the kind you can stop listening to at any point without losing anything, because each one is already complete on its own. I'm safe. I'm loved. I'm enough. I am provided for. I'm at peace. I'm already there. The door's open. It's already mine. I'm walking through it now. I release the day. I release the worry. I release the need to know how. I trust the timing. I trust my own path. I trust what I cannot yet see. I am worthy of rest. I am worthy of ease. I am worthy of good things arriving quietly while I sleep. Every door already open. Every wish already granted. Every fear already released. I'm safe. At home. I'm held. My body's heavy. My mind is quiet. My breath is slow. Do not need to try. I only need to let go. Letting go is enough. Abundance is already mine. Love is already mine. Peace is already mine. Health is already mine. Purpose is already mine. Joy is already mine. I'm the version of me who already has it. That version of me is falling asleep right now. There's no gap between us anymore. I'm safe to want good things. I'm safe to expect good things. I'm safe to receive good things. The hallway's behind me now. Every door in it's still open. I carry that openness with me into sleep. I am not waiting. I'm not chasing. I'm simply quietly arriving. I'm grateful. I'm at ease. I'm already home. Sleep is safe. Rest is productive. Letting go is how the door stays open. I'm cared for. I'm good. I'm exactly what I need to be. More than gentle. More already knows I'm coming. More is already quietly on my side. I release. I trust. I rest. I release. I trust. I rest. I release. I trust. I rest. Let's slow down even further now and count our way into a deeper rest. Not because counting is magic, but because the mind likes a simple, repetitive task right before it lets go completely, the way a hand likes something small to hold before it finally opens. I am going to count slowly, from 30 down to 1. With every number, feel yourself sink a little deeper, into the bed, into the breath, into the quiet dark behind your eyes. You do not need to keep track. If you lose the count, That only means you're doing this exactly right. 30. Sinking deeper. 29. Heavier now. 28. Every door behind you still open. 27. Softer. 26. Further from waking. 25. Your breath, slow and easy. 24. Your body, heavy and warm. 23. Nothing left to do. 22. More left to be. 21. Thinking. 20. Halfway down, already so much further than where you started. 19. The hallway growing quiet and dim behind you. 18. Garden, soft and green, somewhere close. 17. Every wave of words still moving gently through you. 16. Deeper. 15. Halfway between waking and somewhere else entirely. 14. Your jaw loose. 13. Your hands open. 12. Your whole body given over completely to the bed beneath you. 11. Almost there. 10. Every door already open, waiting quietly behind you. 9. Every wish already granted, arriving in its own time. 8. Every fear set down, released, no longer yours to carry. 7. Deeper still. 6. Almost asleep now. 5. Your mind going quiet. 4. Your body completely in rest. 3. Almost gone now. Almost all the way under. 2. One more breath. 1. Living completely. Letting a part of your body has tightened again. A shoulder, a jaw, a hand. Let's release it once more, gently, the way you'd smooth a wrinkle out of a sheet without needing to remake the whole bed. Feel your feet. Heavy. Let them go. Feel your legs. Heavy. Let them go. Feel your hips, your lower back sinking fully into the mattress. Let them go. Feel your stomach rising and falling, slower now than it was even a few minutes ago. Let it go. Feel your chest, your shoulders, dropping one more time, further than you thought they could. Let them go. Feel your arms, your hands completely open, completely unguarded. Let them go. Feel your neck, your jaw, your face, smoothing into stillness. Let it go. There's nothing left to hold on to. There's nothing left to prepare for. There's only this breath and the soft, wide, open door of sleep right in front of you. Walk through it. If you are still listening, that's all right. If you are already asleep, that's better. Either way, from here, we go slower still. Feel your breath, wherever it is right now. Not changing it, just noticing it, the way you'd notice a tide coming in. Slow. Slower. With every breath out, let yourself sink a little deeper into the bed beneath you. With every breath out, let the day fall a little further behind you. With every breath out, let the hallway of doors grow quiet and soft and far away, the way a hallway does when you're finally, fully asleep inside it. You don't need to hold on to anything else tonight. Not the doors, not the words, not even this voice. All of it has already done its work. The seed is planted. You don't dig up a seed to check if it's growing. You simply let the ground do what ground has always known how to do. Let's take one more slow walk together, gentler than any before it. Not through doors this time, but down a staircase, soft carpeted, dimly lit, leading further down into rest with every step. Picture the first step. You are already so relaxed that moving even this little feels like drifting rather than walking. Step down. Feel yourself sink slightly deeper into the bed beneath you as you do. The second step. Deeper now. The sounds around you, if there are any, grow further away, softened, muffled, the way sound behaves underwater. The third step. Your body, heavier. Your mind, quieter. Nothing left to think about except the soft, dark comfort of going further down. The fourth step. Almost weightless now. The staircase seems to fade slightly at the edges, the way things do right at the border of sleep. The fifth step, and the last. You arrive somewhere soft, dark, and complete. Not a room exactly, just a feeling, the feeling of being fully, finally at rest. There is nothing beyond this last step except sleep itself, patient, waiting, already yours. So let go now. Let go of the hallway. Let go of the doors. Let go of even this thought, and the one after it, and the one after that. There's nowhere else you need to be. There's nothing else you need to understand tonight. There's only rest. Only breath. Only the quiet, certain knowing that somewhere, even now, a door is standing open for you. Sleep now. Sleep deeply. Sleep as if every door has already opened for you. Because it has. Some of you have already fallen asleep, and that's exactly as it should be. But if any part of you is still listening, still awake, still turning something over in your mind, that's all right too. There's a little more road left, and we'll walk it slowly, together. Sometimes the mind resists sleep precisely on the nights it needs rest the most, the way a tired child fights bedtime hardest right before finally collapsing into it. If that's you tonight, there's no need to fight yourself about it. Fighting sleep only wakes you up further. Let's do the opposite of fighting. Let's walk through a few more doors, quieter, smaller, further down this second wing of the hallway, the part that's just for the nights when sleep takes a little longer to arrive. Door 21, mastery and skill. The next door hums faintly, like a workshop still warm from use. Above it, skill. Step through. This room holds the version of you who has finally stopped doubting your own competence, the version who trusts your hands, your instincts, the thousands of small repetitions that have quietly built expertise you don't always give yourself credit for. Feel what it's like to do something difficult and make it look almost effortless, not because it was easy, but because you've done the work of making it familiar. Feel the pride of craft, the specific satisfaction of getting better at something, slowly, over time, without an audience. Quietly, let these settle. I am allowed to be good at what I do. My competence does not need to be loud to be real. The door marked skill opens a little further every single time I practice, even when no one's watching. Back into the hallway. Door 22, parenthood and nurturing. The next door sounds like a quiet house at bedtime. Soft footsteps, a lullaby half remembered. Above it, nurture. Step through. Whether this room holds children you already have, children you hope for, or simply the nurturing part of you that takes care of the people and creatures and projects you love, let it hold whatever version of care feels true to you tonight. Feel what it's like to give care without it draining you completely. Feel the specific tenderness of watching something you love grow a little at a time in directions you couldn't have controlled even if you tried. Feel yourself trusted by someone or something in a way that asks you to be steady. Quietly, let these settle. I am capable of nurturing without losing myself. The love I give returns to me in forms I don't always expect. The door marked nurture reminds me that caring for others and caring for myself were never actually opposites. Back into the hallway. Door 23, community and contribution. The next door opens onto something like a gathering, voices overlapping, a shared table. Above it, contribution. Step through. This room holds the quiet wish, underneath so many of our other wishes, to matter to more people than just ourselves, to leave a place a little better than we found it, to be someone others are glad exists. Feel what it's like to give something of value and watch it ripple outward, further than you can trace. Feel the specific satisfaction of being useful to something larger than your own life. Quietly, let these settle. My contribution does not need to be enormous to matter. I am already part of something larger than myself. The door marked contribution is open every time I choose to show up for someone else. Back into the hallway. Door 24. Rest itself. The next door is the softest yet, barely a door at all, more like a curtain of warm air. Above it, simply, rest. Step through. There's nothing to picture in this room except stillness. No wish to hold, no affirmation to remember, just the specific, uncomplicated relief of a body that has finally stopped bracing for something. Feel your whole self exhale into this room. You do not need anything else from tonight. This room alone would have been enough. Door 25. Wonder. The next door, quieter than most, opens onto something like a night sky, close enough to touch. Above it, wonder. Step through. This room asks nothing of you except to remember, for a moment, how large and strange and improbable it is to be alive at all. A body, a mind, a whole private universe of feeling, spinning through space on a small blue planet, for a handful of decades that somehow feel both impossibly short and impossibly full. Feel small in the good way, not insignificant but light, unburdened, part of something vast enough that your worries for a moment lose their grip. Quietly, let this thought settle. I am part of something vast and mysterious and quietly on my side. Back into the hallway, 2 more doors, and then we'll let this whole hallway rest. Door 26. Resilience. The next door is scuffed slightly at the bottom, as if it's been pushed open many times before, by many hands, in many difficult seasons. Above it, I have survived every hard thing so far. Step through. This room holds proof, not promises. Every hard season you've already come through. Every version of yourself that didn't know, at the time, how it would end, and made it through anyway. Feel the quiet, earned strength of someone who has already survived 100% of their worst days. Feel what it's like to trust your own resilience the way you'd trust an old friend who has never once let you down, even when you doubted them. Quietly, let these settle. I have already survived everything that has tried to break me. Whatever comes next, I will find a way through it, the way I always have. The door marked resilience reminds me that I'm sturdier than my fear gives me credit for. Back into the hallway. Door 27. Homecoming. The last door tonight is the softest of all. No strain in the hinges, no resistance at all, as if it's been waiting, patiently, this entire time, for you to simply notice it was there. Above it, quietly. Welcome back. Step through. This room doesn't hold a wish, it holds a return. The specific quiet relief of coming back to yourself after a long time spent somewhere else, performing, striving, trying to become someone more acceptable than the person you already were. Feel what it's like to stop performing even for yourself and simply arrive, fully, in your own life. Quietly, let this settle, the softest words of the whole hallway. Welcome back. You are always allowed to come home to yourself. You are already here. The hallway, all 27 doors of the second wing, grows dim now and quiet and very far away. You don't need to remember the way back. You are already exactly where you're meant to be. Whatever hour you find yourself waking tomorrow, may you wake a little lighter than you fell asleep. May the day meet you gently, May the things you've been waiting for stop feeling like waiting and start feeling like arriving. You do not have to remember any of this consciously for it to have worked on you. The body remembers what the mind forgets. The hallway remains, even after the lights go out. Before we say goodnight, let me leave you with one more small picture, not to hold on to tonight, just to let drift by, the way the best images do right before sleep finally takes you. Picture, loosely, tomorrow morning. Not the version of tomorrow your worried mind sometimes rehearses. The rushed alarm, the too short shower, the immediate scroll through everything that might go wrong. A different morning. The one that's already waiting on the other side of tonight's sleep. Quietly prepared. The way this whole night has been quietly prepared. Picture opening your eyes, slowly, without startling. Picture the light in the room. Soft, early, unhurried. Picture your body, rested in a way it hasn't been in a while. The specific heaviness of good sleep still pleasant in your limbs. Notice, before you even move, that something feels slightly different. Not dramatically, not in a way you could point to and explain to someone else over coffee. Just a quiet shift. Like a room that's been rearranged while you were away. Familiar, but subtly, undeniably different. That difference is the hallway, still working, even in daylight. The doors you walk through tonight do not close simply because morning arrived. They stay open, the same way. A door you unlocked yesterday doesn't lock itself again overnight, simply because you weren't there to watch it. Picture yourself moving through your morning with that quiet knowing tucked somewhere behind your ribs. Not announced, not performed, just present, the way a good secret is present, coloring everything slightly, without needing to be spoken aloud. Picture yourself a little less reactive to small frustrations, a little more willing to believe that things might actually go well today, a little less braced. Picture, if you can, one small piece of unexpected good news finding its way to you sometime in the coming days, a message you weren't expecting, an opportunity that seems to arrive from nowhere, a stranger's small kindness, a problem that resolves itself more easily than you'd feared. You don't need to know exactly what it will be. You only need to hold the loose, comfortable expectation that something like it is already on its way, moving toward you the way the river moves, unhurried, unstoppable, patient. Picture yourself, weeks from now, looking back at tonight. This exact bed, this exact darkness, this exact quiet hour, and recognizing it as the night something in you quietly shifted. Not because of any single dramatic moment, but because you gave yourself permission for one whole night to stop knocking and start walking. You don't have to remember any of these pictures specifically. Let them blur now, soften, the way all good images do right before sleep finally, fully arrives. They've already done their work. The seed is planted. The rest is simply a matter of letting the ground do what ground has always known how to do. Before I let you go completely, a few final simple things. You are allowed to want more than you currently have. Without that wanting meaning, you're ungrateful for what's already here. Both can be true at once. Gratitude for tonight and hope for tomorrow, resting easily side by side, the way two old friends can sit together, in silence without needing to fill it. You are allowed to rest before everything is resolved. In fact, resting before everything is resolved is very often the thing that finally allows the resolving to happen, because a mind that's constantly gripping has no room left to receive anything new. You are allowed to believe, even a little, even tentatively, even just for tonight, that the doors ahead of you are open. Not because someone promised you they would be, simply because believing it costs you nothing, and disbelieving it has, so far, cost you a great deal of peaceful sleep. So tonight, choose the belief that lets you rest. Choose the story where the door is already open. Choose it not because you've proven it, but because it's yours to choose, the way it was always yours to choose, on every night before this one, whether you knew it or not. Sleep well. Sleep fully. Sleep as if every door has already opened for you. Good night.